What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Scoop.
Sam Claiborne.
What is up, Damon?
We've got so much, Sam, so much. We've got a great show for you today. One last scoop before we all bounce down to LA for E3. Yeah. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy XII. We're going to talk about Yooka-Laylee. But first, Yooka-Laylee is not the only game that was recently delayed this week. We also found out that Horizon Zero Dawn, which we thought would be one of Sony's big games for this fall, has been given an official release date in 2017.
Check out this awesome trailer.
Yeah.
And the release date.
That's how they soften the blow, yeah.
Yeah, with both those games.
Trailer release
Trailer and at
date.
the very end. Oh yeah, no, it's not coming out until 2017.
But both
That's
those
our
trailers
spin
were
there.
hot.
What's that?
Both those trailers were very hot.
Yeah, well, let's start with Horizon Zero Dawn. Its official release date is now February 28th, 2017. Are you bummed?
Yes. Depending on how you look at this, it's either a crushing blow or more time to play.
Wow.
Or more time to play No Man's Sky.
How many?
This is the game about dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know.
How many death threats have you sent Guerrilla Games?
None.
Boy.
I do not send death threats to people, nor do I recommend anyone else to it
Anymore.
because it's bad. No, but I'm really sad about it. This is a game.
really sad.
Yeah, this is a game I really want to play. It's giant robot dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why video games exist.
Jared.
Aw, yeah.
He finally got his high five.
I finally got my high
Marty
five.
told me to
That's
come
right.
in here and high five
Did
Jared.
he? Did you?
It's good.
No,
Oh.
he didn't actually say that. He said never high five Jared.
Marty left me hanging. It was pretty beautiful.
The dinosaurs in the future.
Yeah, giant robot dinosaurs are why video games exist. I don't get to play with them now, and I'm really sad about it. It's been a while since I've seen a trailer like that, and I'm just like, yes, I am cave person, giant robot dinosaurs, sold, give me game.
Yeah, the
And now
trailer
I have
looks
to wait.
great. It hints at some crazy stuff at the end of the trailer. I feel like this is worse news for Sony than it is for gamers. I mean, any gamer can wait 3 months, right? Like if the game comes out in February or November, that's not really that different for us. But for Sony, they missed that holiday window to really go head-to-head with Microsoft and plaster the internet and the TV airwaves with ads. And
They have Last Guardian.
Well,
Yeah.
so this leads me to my question: what does Sony have for this fall? I know we're going to have a much better idea a week from now after their conference.
Should we predict?
What do we think?
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2.
No, may it not
Nobody's
be
talking
so.
about that.
You're right. Nobody is talking about that.
Yes. Oh, that game was so bad.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I hated that game. I hated.
you
oh,
do
The
that
game's
one
not
for it?
terrible, but it is
I-
a game that nobody was asking for.
Again, aggressively mediocre. That term. Well, we now know we have No Man's Sky headed into the fall, so that's
that's a
probably
little early
late
to be a
summer.
fall
It's
game, right?
Yeah,
That's-
we'll see.
It's an well, yeah.
It's
It's
Too
set for
darn
August.
late to be a summer game now.
In August.
maybe get a No Man's Sky, and then whatever they have cooked up for VR, maybe.
Well, like
Yeah,
Sam said,
VR,
will
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian be Sony's big fall game?
yes.
You think so?
That's a cool idea. I mean,
The
if
only
they have
other-
that, and Nintendo and Microsoft don't, then that's a
The
big
only
deal.
other big first-party Sony game I'm aware of is Detroit:
What?
I forgot about
Become
that game.
Human. The next one
I remember
from
when that was announced.
from,
but I
Heavy
didn't
Rain,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Announced at Paris Games Week last
That can't be
October.
it.
I'm just.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Huh?
That's been announced. Uncharted 4 is out now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about big, like AAA first-party
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, even if they announce a big AAA first-party game, like it's not going to be out by the fall. In general, that's
Probably
like
not.
usually how it
Right,
works.
and-
Unless you're Bethesda.
Yeah.
Even if we got like a God of War announcement or something, it's improbable that
Yeah.
would be for.
God
It
of-
could be though.
God of
That-
War could be announced and coming out.
That's
in the
true.
fall.
That could happen, yeah, and that would be a really
There are a
that'd
lot
be a
of-
hot announcement. That'd be amazing.
There are a lot of rumors about God of War. It should be in development for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's ready to go.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's their saving grace because a God of War game. It has been a while, and
Yeah, that
people
could have
would be-
dinosaurs in it.
If it's God of War versus dinosaurs,
Aw,
I'm in.
man.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they had to delay the other one.
Oh, they were worried about like
much
just too much.
dinosaur?
You can never have. First off, that's faulty logic. You can never have too much dinosaur.
Too much dinosaur would be a good name for an iPhone game.
Let's do it. Let's make it
The
under,
character would be named Too Much Dinosaur.
under your Pladia label.
Or will just PlayStation VR be Sony's big push for fall?
Yeah, yes.
In place of like a big AAA game?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be PlayStation VR and then 1 or 2 traditional games. Maybe God of War, maybe Last Guardian.
Okay.
I think.
Literally in your face, Microsoft. Because it'll be on your face, I guess.
And also, I'm sad about Horizon being delayed again. I also prefer the game be done than it be released in a half put together state. So,
Well, we don't need to dwell on that. Bad news, Jared. Let's move on.
all right.
To Yooka-Laylee. Another delay. Yooka-Laylee was supposed to be out this October. It has been delayed to Q1 2017. Now, Jared, you're a sinner.
I Saved by Grace.
You commit the heresy of talking trash on Banjo-Kazooie. Every chance
I didn't know where you were going with this. I missed that episode.
I occasionally say critical things about Banjo-Kazooie.
While you were in here doing that, I was collecting Jiggies in Clanker's Cavern out in editorial.
Yeah.
That was in fact happening. You were sitting there at your CRT doing that, yeah.
Well, Clanker's Cavern, the worst level in the game.
It is. It is terrible. It's stressful.
The swimming is not great.
It really stinks to be underwater and be running out of breath when you have to take a really long, slow climb back up to the top.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
It's unclear how to get a lot of the Jiggies. The puzzles aren't clear.
So I hope there's no
shoot out
Clanker's Cavern in
teeth.
Yooka-Laylee, because you can see all these elements of other Rare games in that game.
Yeah, we got a new trailer.
The minecart. The loops
They
in the sky.
continued, by the way, Damon, I want to point out, you gave me such a hard time for the conspiracy theory about the hexagon being the B. It was a reference. Remember the Ukulele developer Platonic changed their Twitter account to the thing that I felt was a reference to Banjo-Kazooie.
I didn't give you a hard time about that.
Did you give me a hard time about that?
Yeah, because it's BS.
And now in the new trailer, there's a Jiggy in the trailer.
Well, the Jiggy is totally good. I love how the Jiggy's in there.
And I want to point out,
changing their
it's not a jigsaw puzzle
their Twitter
piece.
handle to a hexagon.
Yeah.
It's an actual Jiggy. It's the design of the Jiggy with 2 cut ins and then 2 bump outs.
Yeah, it's a drink garnish Jiggy, which is really cute.
How can they get away with that? They can't keep getting away with it.
I just keep wanting to bust in to get jiggy with it. That's all I can think.
No.
There's some sort of Banjo-Kazooie connection that either Mumbo's going to be in the game or something. Or it's in the Banjo-Kazooie universe.
I'm going to go deep, all right? I was playing Banjo-Kazooie, and in that game, Kazooie does all the work.
Yeah.
Like, if you flip over, she carries you on her back, and if you swim in the water, she's doing the stroke, the swim.
Yeah.
And Esme, I believe, came over in editorial. She's like, that bird's doing all the work. I'm like, I know. And then I watched the Ukulele trailer, and it's not the case. It actually, is it a bat and a gecko?
Yeah, lizard. of some
The
kind.
lizard creature is like actually doing all the heavy lifting.
You
there
also
with the
that trailer
tiny
also has feathers, and bats don't have feathers. I'm telling you, man.
It's just some other generic rubbery creature. Yeah.
There's also a really good trouser snake joke in that trailer.
Well, okay. Who doesn't love that?
So Jared, you've been given a chance to redeem yourself.
Okay.
So how are you feeling about Yooka-Laylee?
I promised before the show I would behave myself. But actually, Ukulele, I'm looking forward to. I'd like to see what they do. And look, Rare's made plenty of wonderful things, and Playday is made up of some of the same people that did that. I have a very kind of polar relationship with Rare games. I either love or hate each one. There's not a lot of middle ground on
What's
them.
the best one?
The NES port of Sid Meier's Pirates. Is the best
No,
thing
that
they ever
doesn't
did.
count.
Oh, that doesn't? Why not?
What's a game that they created on a system that was?
I'm really fond of Snake Rattle and Roll. I'm really fond of Perfect Dark. I like.
Do you like Perfect Dark?
Jetpack
Yeah,
refueled.
well, yeah. I mean, Night Lore. If we're gonna be technical about
Not
this.
Star Fox Adventures.
No. Prince Trippy can bite my butt.
Do you like Mario 64?
They did not make that game.
I know. I'm just asking.
I do.
that's what
I adore Mario 64.
So you don't like
like
Banjo-Kazooie. What do you think is the best 3D platformers? Is it Mario 64?
The best 3D platformer of all time is Super Mario Galaxy.
I want you to unpack this a little for me.
God,
I
so
probably
wrong.
agree with that. How can you? It's fine to like Mario 64 more than Banjo-Kazooie, but how can you loathe Banjo-Kazooie and adore Mario 64?
Okay, well, I adore Mario 64, one, because I feel like it's a little less... I feel like Banjo-Kazooie is overstretched. Like, I like the exploratory element, but I feel like it's kind of undisciplined in that. There's a lot of areas that kind of feel water template to me, where I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this. Can I just go on?
Yeah, you
And
haven't played Banjo-Kazooie. I think we've exposed you as a fraud.
I don't enjoy that part first. But the second end of it, more importantly, it is kind of the annoying, rubbery, colorful British thing. With the stupid little quotes and the sounds, and I don't like the
sounds so
characters. And
good.
do you like Wallace and Gromit?
No, not really.
What?
No.
Do you like Mr. Bean?
And don't like
What?
Mr. Bean. No. I think
All
we
right,
found it.
stop talking. Let's stop talking. Okay, so Yooka-Laylee and Horizon Zero Dawn both moved into early 2017. That tells me it's time for an early 2017 video game preview.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
Now's the perfect time for that.
Is Mass Effect then too?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Games we know coming in early in Q1 2017 include Mass Effect Andromeda.
All of those games are just coming out next fall.
There's going to be all kinds of aliens.
I
for you
mean
to
the
have
fall
sex
after
with.
this fall.
Yeah.
There's no games that come out in the spring anymore.
Do you think
They
a
all get
week from
delayed.
now? Well, Uncharted 4 just came out in the spring.
Yeah, actually, we had a really busy April and May in Guide's team, and then it got
it
A
was
lot of
same.
delays too.
It was
Yeah,
the same in
that's true.
2016.
Yeah.
I was actually reflecting on some of the best games I've played this year so far, and we
As-
have already
as you
had some good ones. Far Cry Primal came out this year.
What's the best game you played this year?
Probably my favorite game that came out this year is, well,
The Witness.
Uncharted 4 is the obvious one, but the game I've played the most is probably Enter the Gungeon.
Ooh.
Really? You play the
Yeah,
most?
that's a fun game.
I play it almost every day. Kind of secondary to Hearthstone.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome.
Anyway, Mass Effect Andromeda. A week from now, you think we'll have a release date?
Yeah.
Surely we'll have a release date. You know what else comes out in Q1? Jared, Strafe.
Strafe does come out, and I'm really excited about that. Woo! Yeah, so Doom got me even more hyped for Strafe. Strafe is a
Yeah, I know
single
what Strafe
player.
is. Yeah.
Have you guys seen this? Yeah, a single player
heard you talk about it.
procedurally generated first-person shooter, very fast, very twitchy, kind of a roguelike FPS hybrid. Done in this early 90s kind of retro style.
Meant to be an homage to 90s shooters.
Exactly, but it's also
Really?
with that procedurally generated level thing. Nobody's ever really pulled that off with this kind of game before. So if they do it right, it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, Doom got me excited for that kind of gameplay. It's been a long time since I'd done anything like that. And
Sounds rad.
Yeah,
I'm generally
Is it on
not
consoles?
a fan of live-action video game trailers, but
Yeah.
the Strafe
The
trailer,
Strafe trailer is great.
is
Good.
the Strafe trailer is my favorite video game trailer in
A+.
years.
Is this on console?
Top 10 video game.
Strafe,
trailer.
I think Strafe's just PC, isn't it? Is Strafe coming to console? I don't remember.
I think it's PC only.
They'll probably
Yeah.
be PC first.
That's,
Yeah.
Maybe
that's
it's
a
a-
good idea for a feature, by the way.
Which what?
Top 10 game trailers.
You should do, well, yeah, but you should do top 10 like live-action game trailers.
Yeah,
See
sure.
what are the actual decent ones.
Well, when he turns to his little bird, it's like, "You'll just die." It's the best.
No spoilers for people who
right.
haven't watched it yet. And coming in Q1, Yooka-Laylee, we now know. We know exactly when Horizon Zero Dawn is coming, February 28th.
Yeah.
And 2 more games and a system we know that are coming in Q1. First, Bloodstained is coming in March.
Yep.
And this is the new Castlevania-ish, Castlevania-like from
Big Kickstarter.
Did
Igarashi?
Igarashi do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
physical copy will be arriving. Very
Nice.
excited. Got my disc
Yeah.
on the way.
Wow, disc.
Yeah, I ordered a disc.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does Zelda count as quarter one?
And Zelda, well, so what I want to say is NX is supposed to be out in March.
March, so that is quarter one, yeah.
And Zelda's coming to NX, so
yeah.
Can we go
Zelda.
back for a second to where we're getting the first real Castlevania game in a long
Yeah,
time?
sure.
That's really exciting.
it's called Bloodstained, and then
It's
there's
not a real
long-
Castlevania
The first
game.
fake
It is-
real
It
Castlevania.
is a more real Castlevania game than Judgment or several
We
others
hope.
we've gotten.
It's
Yeah.
hard to tell, man. With Mighty Number 9, like that last trailer, doesn't look like Mega Man. It's not the spiritual successor to Mega Man I was looking
Yeah,
for.
the game looks good. The trailer, though, goodness
Well,
gracious.
The trailer was awful. The game, I think, is.
I don't think the game
It's
looks
got
good.
more of a Mega Man X vibe to it. It feels like if somebody made
No,
Mega Man
I
X
said it
on
looks
the
like
PSP.
it looks like Mega Man 7. 'Cause Mega Man X is its own thing, or Mega Man 7 or 8, or into the first PlayStation one. It looks like a Mega Man knockoff.
I feel like it looks like somebody tried to port X to the PSP.
It is a Mega Man
but-
knockoff.
It is a Mega Man.
It is Mega Man. That's a good
but
point.
Can it be a knockoff when it's from the creator?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is Yooka-Laylee a Banjo-Kazooie knockoff?
Yes.
Can we just get an upscaled version of Mega Man Powered Up? That'd be okay. That game's fun.
I paid $50 for Mega Man 8.
Is Dark Souls
Ooh.
what was the first one called? Souls knockoff?
Demon Souls?
Demon
Demon
Souls.
Souls.
Yes.
Yes, Dark Souls is a Demon Souls knockoff.
I don't think this is actually accurate. A
Are they
knockoff
all
is like
Dead
the
Rising
generic, like the
knockoffs?
busted ass generic version.
They're all Pac-Man knockoffs.
And I guess
Doom
maybe
clones.
that might work
Yeah.
for Mighty Number 9.
Let's start calling FPS Doom clones.
Doom
again.
clones again. I'm good with that. Yeah.
Are they all Tennis for Two knockoffs?
Can
in
we
the
just sneak that into like Activision's latest Call of Duty Doom clone was announced today? Can we just put that?
When you were working on that FPS list, I sent you the email that said we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally.
the latest Doom clone?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Battlefield 1.
there are 6 hot games to look for in Q1 2017.
All right.
What we got?
Getting back, continuing with the 2017 train, coming later, sometime in the year, will be a HD remaster of Final Fantasy 12.
Woo, doggy.
I guess Justin is excited.
Yeah, when I get really excited, I turn into
Well, you're Iowa.
some sort of prospector.
You're Slim Pickens all of a sudden.
Why so excited?
Because Final Fantasy XII is a great, great game that I feel like was unfairly. Well, I mean, it got good reviews, but it
did get good reviews.
It was. I was gonna say unfairly maligned, but it just didn't. People really didn't like the main character, and there was some legitimate complaints about
They're
it.
not going to fix that.
That overshadowed everything that game does so well, and it's sort of remembered in this light that I don't think is fair or accurate. It's like such a perfect game to get a remaster because it was never ported or updated. If you wanted to play that game, you had to drag out a PS2 and buy it and play it. It's a perfect candidate for a remaster. The
Hey,
battle
does it have an
systems-
overworld?
Yeah.
Sort of. Everything's kind of. I mean, there's not
It's
an
open
in
world, I
out.
should
Like
say?
it's more open. It's more
Because I always
openish.
thought of that game as like corridors, and that doesn't
No.
feel
No, it feels more
It's
like
not
an
an
MMO.
overworld in the sense where you're like a tiny character that walks around an overworld. The overworld just
With
is
good
the
music?
game world. Like,
Yeah.
it had this awesome monster hunting, system in it. But the thing, it's that game's battle system, one of the greatest JRPG battle systems.
So not
ever.
it's like
stuff?
it's
No.
unique. Is the battle system unique to a Final Fantasy? Like,
Yes, absolutely.
They never did it again. It was sort of cribbed from the MMO. It's basically an MMO battle system transposed into a single-player game. But what's so smart about it is how you control one character, and the other three characters are AI controlling themselves. But you have so much control over what they do when. You can set up all these if-then statements. So it's like, if my health drops below 30%, use a potion. And if another character's health drops below this, then heal them. But otherwise, if everyone's health is good, then you're doing this. And like the amount, but what was so smart about it isn't that you had so much control over your character, but you had to unlock and find, like in
those
the
control
game world,
schemes.
like, yes, I finally have the ability to use a potion under 25% instead of 50%. And it was, as you got later in the game, you got more and more control over what your AI party members did, and setting up their gambits perfectly so that the game would practically play itself was awesome. Like,
Does it
it's
have
so
Moogles?
rewarding.
It has Moogles.
Yeah.
It's also kind of the ultimate embodiment. I'm so glad you went on the system. People talk about Final Fantasy V systems a lot, and they should. But I think 12's even more brilliant. It's the kind of the ultimate embodiment of that RPG principle, where the battles themselves might not be that interesting. It's getting ready for the battle that's the best part of the game.
You would switch around all your gambits, and what I loved about them is you had a priority order to them. So it's like, do this first, above all. Always do this if, the crap hits the fan. But then if things are going okay, then here's some other options that you have at your disposal. It was just so perfect.
Do the Moogles dance?
I don't remember the Moogles dance.
It came out at kind of a weird time for Final Fantasy because there was 10 and 10-2, which is probably the height of popularity of Final Fantasy. Those games were
Yeah,
so
it was 7,
huge.
8, and 9.
Is there a graduation ceremony with a rat tail?
No, that's one of the things. Yes, there are like plucky young heroes,
Hold
but
on.
they're actually like older characters.
Hold on. 10 and 10-2, but then Final Fantasy 11 is an MMO, and a lot of fans were like, well, that's not really what I was looking for in Final Fantasy. So then it comes back to a more traditional Final Fantasy game. But I don't know. People don't talk about 12 a lot.
But we named it number 2 on our list of the best Final Fantasy games, and I expected people to really be on our butts about that. But instead, I saw mostly comments that are like, "Yes, finally, someone gets it."
Yeah.
Ivalice is probably the best setting for a Final Fantasy game, in my opinion. Just a great world.
Hands down, the best vests in Final Fantasy history.
Vest.
There's some great vests.
vests.
It's like Vaughn, and I'm not going to defend Vaughn. I don't really like him, but I understand the purpose he serves in the story. Well, but I would argue he's not the main character just because you play as him. Like, you're looking at the game through his lens, but I don't think the story is really about him. And if you were to add up the dialogue, I would imagine that he's not as big a player in the story as people kind of remember him being.
That's fair. It's a lot like Suikoden 2, where the people around you are more interesting than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate criticism. I don't want to.
Can you ride a chocobo?
Yes, I think so.
Does it play the chocobo music?
I don't remember.
I don't like what you're doing here, Sam.
I'm just trying to gauge whether this is the best Final Fantasy game, as you guys are
Does it
saying.
have that awesome Ride That Chocobo metal song from Final Fantasy 13?
No, the metal remix, though.
Yeah.
I look forward to checking it out again because I got Final Fantasy 12 and started it, put a couple hours into it, and then got distracted. And,
See, I just read that the
Captain
first
Bosch.
Final Fantasy's name was Final Fantasy, and I never played one after it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
No, I've played 6.
That and Grandia are the greatest RPG battle systems.
Ooh, Grandia does have a good one.
Grandia is the best.
Chrono Cross is a terrible game with a great battle system.
Chrono Crosses is really good, too.
Chrono Triggers is good.
Chrono Triggers is really, really good. That's true.
Well, look for Final Fantasy
10-2
12
is really
HD Remaster coming next year. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like David Coleman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania did.
Good old PP.
It's the Pits.
Hello, Damon, Justin, and the Scoop crew. My question for the show is, with E3 approaching this Sunday, do you think it's losing some of its juice with all the leaks within the last week and a half?
Nice.
The
The
juice is leaking.
The juice is loose.
That E3 juice is leaking out everywhere.
See, he
and
didn't
it's
mix
like
his metaphors. I like that. He
sticky.
stuck with it.
There's been even more since he probably wrote this.
Yeah. It says it's sort of losing the surprises that the show has when everything is leaking now. What's Yin's thoughts? Apparently, Yin's is a Pittsburgh term.
Yeah.
You know this?
Oh, yeah. Yins and Jagoff. That's another one.
Wow.
Well,
this is a family show, Jared.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
Isn't the beer there
those are both
Yinling, too?
there's
Yeah,
Iron City beer in
City?
Pittsburgh. I like
I've had
Pittsburgh.
Iron City.
Yeah, I
You like Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I like Pittsburgh.
I like Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah, you like Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's a beautiful college town. Nice
Isn't
hill,
that where?
rivers.
Isn't that the city Nathan Drake's living in?
I've only been there in
At
the summer. I bet it
beginning of
sucks in the
Uncharted
winter.
4? Is that Pittsburgh?
I haven't been there in the winter,
No one
so
knows.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Home with George Romero.
The question is E3 leaking too much juice?
I mean, I don't know. Is it really any different than any other? I mean, it's kind of the cycle.
It kind of always happens.
Like,
I think maybe leaks, maybe they enhance the excitement surrounding the show.
Yeah, the
Because now,
buzz.
like,
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah.
rumors about a Skyrim HD, so now people really want to tune into the Bethesda conference to see if that's true.
Yep.
yeah, I've brought this up on GameScoop before, but I kind of like the approach that EA took with Mass Effect, where years in advance they're like, "Yep, we're working on another Mass Effect." You know, here's a guy, and then they had some B-roll of some guy like rigging up some animation, and it's like. You'll see it in a couple years, and it's like, why not just why try to pretend like there's not. Like you don't need to reveal something early or spoil your own surprise. You can still build up hype, but like we know that Bethesda's probably working on the next Elder Scrolls. Like that's going to happen in a few years. So why not just admit it and then say, hey, you'll see it in 2-3 years?
I guess the counter argument internally is that somebody wants to get that moment. You know, it's a laughing point now, but you think about when they do manage to actually surprise us.
Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess, Other M, before we knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah, you're talking about classic reaction kind of moments.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're just sitting there going, Team Ninja made a Metroid game and it didn't leak. You know, that's crazy. So I think people internally get enraptured in that idea, but it doesn't work out nearly as often as it should. So I think your perspective is probably the way to play.
There's so many moving parts that some caterer making a dinner for Tony Hawk is gonna, accidentally reveal a new game. Like, you have hosts, like Aisha Tyler is hosting Ubisoft conference, and they probably have been in rehearsals for a while now. And there's a light dude, some man running the lights.
Overheard her say something. And,
it's almost impossible.
A title and a leaked screenshot and a poster and stuff like that. That's not what E3 is about. E3 is about actually showing what the game is and what it looks like and impressing people with the actual merits of the game itself, even playing it. And if you don't do that, then you're just hyping it. And what is a title? It's always a sequel. That doesn't matter too much. Leaks don't happen if they're not sequels.
Injustice 2's coming, and it has Batman in it.
Because when leaks, are for games that we don't even know exist, then we don't know how to see them as leaks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who cares about sequels? We're going to get cool original stuff, and we're going to see trailers, and it's going to be fun.
No, E3 is like a trip to Disneyland. No matter how hyped you get, even if you've read about all the rides, even if you've ridden them before, you're still excited about going back. So I'm not too worried about it.
It's also, Sam's completely right that the meat of E3 is really diving into, it's one thing to have Fallout 4 leak, which it kind of did, and we kind of even knew it was going to be set in Boston. But it's another thing to find out, okay, we know that Fallout 4 is a game title that exists, but what is it? Did they do something cool or did they do something mundane? Does the way that it evolves the formula look neat or not? And then we got this huge look at the base building and weapon customization at E3, and we were all blown away by it. That's what E3 is all about.
It is time on GameScoop when we play video game 20 questions.
Whoa.
Everyone knows how this works. My panel has 20 yes or no questions to guess this week's mystery game, which comes from Brad Woodard.
Where's Brad from?
He doesn't say.
Oh, but that influences what game he might have picked.
Yeah, because if he's from the UK, then we know it's one of those Amiga games.
One of those squishy...
Kind of squishy, over colorful British
rubbery,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of fine British video games, just not Banjo-Kazooie.
Name one.
Let's focus. Let's stay focused here, Jared.
Wizards and Warriors.
That game's great.
You may begin.
Does your character ever punch someone in this game? Do they punch?
Yes.
Ooh, excellent question.
I think it's God Hand.
I was thinking Mortal Kombat.
Was this game released after January 1st, 2000?
No.
Okay.
Same question, 1990.
Yes.
So it was released in the 90s, after January 1st, 1990.
Okay.
A 90s game where you can punch.
All right. There's a lot of those.
Do you play as multiple? Can you play as more than one character?
Yes.
So it could be a brawler or a fighter. Yeah. Is it a fighting game?
Let's try to get this under 5 questions. You don't need to ask that.
Is it a fighting game?
No, we do.
No.
Okay, so it's probably a
that's
brawler.
yeah,
Probably a brawler.
Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles.
Remember that Warriors game? That was cool. Or Simpsons. Or
Yeah.
Do you play as a human?
Do you play as humans?
It's a gray area.
Ooh, gray. Wow.
I don't know what to do
I
with
don't
that.
think technically.
In Aliens vs Predator.
Is it the Battletoads?
Some of
Double Dragon
some
Battletoads?
of the available characters might be human.
If it's the alien brawler
Yeah.
that Capcom made, you can play as the Marine or as the alien.
Oh, okay. All right. So it could be that. Could be Alien.
Well,
Do you
but
wanna
this
ask
could
if-
be.
We're doing so well. I'm just gonna go ahead and spend quite a minute. Is this a side-scrolling brawler?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it based on a license?
Yes.
Is this made by Konami?
Yes.
Okay, it's a Konami.
So,
brawler.
but that means it's
It's
not.
X-Men.
And there's a lot of those. It could be. It could be
X-Men.
plays
X-Men. Yeah, probably.
X-Men,
It's probably
Do you
Turtles.
play as a human in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, you don't. But he kind of said like on that, right? Yeah.
They're not human at
It's
all.
probably X-Men. You're right here. It's probably X-Men.
Do you play as a mutant?
Yes.
Okay.
Blah 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 blah.
What's
Are
the-
you welcome to die?
I don't know.
This
how
might
to
be a
answer
reference I can't answer.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Is it the? I mean, what's the original actually called?
It's called X-Men. Like that's just
Yeah, has it on
yeah.
2 screens?
Yeah. Does this game have an arcade cabinet that features 2 screens?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's X-Men.
It's the X-Men.
It is X-Men.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think they're like metahumans, right?
They're
not-
mutants. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
mutants.
but so are they still
Homo sapiens superior?
so not human?
That's a fair
They're
point.
Right, that's what I was
they're
thinking.
You're right, they're not
subclass
human.
a shade of human, but not.
Yeah.
The real
technically
question
human.
is, what is human?
That
Yeah.
is a- that's
Maybe
a
they're
really
too
good-
human.
That is.
And what happens when you throw in Spider-Man?
Yeah. And the welcome to die thing is there's a point in that game where Magneto appears and goes, X-Men, welcome to die, and then like blows up the ground under you.
Yeah,
Because
it's one
it
of
was
a
not made
famous,
in
a
America.
famous incorrect line reading
Yeah,
or
so good.
translation. Or
It's really good.
I want to point out that I've been asking silly questions to open 20 questions
Yeah,
for
that one helps a
a
lot.
year.
Yeah.
And then it let us zero
Straight
right
to
in.
X-Men. Yeah.
90s punching game. Or,
Finally.
That game
finally paid off.
Curiously reminiscent of the cartoon pilot that they did for Pride of the X-Men. Like they have the same style costumes.
I thought
a
it
lot
was-
of the same enemies.
Wasn't it based on the cartoon?
I wonder. I don't know. I don't know the history of this at all. I don't know if they just handed them the cartoon and said make the game off of that or what. Has a lot of the same characters, so I think so, and even similar voices.
1992.
Nightcrawler in it, though. So no, it's
He's
not
in Pride of the
really.
X-Men, isn't he?
He's not into the X-Men cartoon, is what I'm saying.
No, but not the new X-Men, not that. It's not based on that. It's based on a pilot that was done a few years earlier. They
We're
have
gonna
different
wrap up the
costumes
show
on.
now.
All right.
One more question before we bounce for E3. This email comes from David, and David asks if Justin so adamantly doesn't believe in ghosts, why is he scared of spooky games?
Yeah, wow. He's got me dead to rights. Yeah, I don't know.
So you believe in ghosts now?
No, I'm very much a rational. I don't believe in anything supernatural or anything that's unproven by science.
Except for the
We've heard
Mothman.
you contradict that so many times.
Except the Mothman. No, but that's because I saw the Mothman. I don't want to. I don't want to
talk about your
explain
stuff.
I don't want to explain Mothman stuff.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Shouldn't your rationality tell you not to be scared of
the
spooky games?
way that I deal with it's mainly spooky movies actually. If I'm watching a horror movie and I'm getting really scared, which is every horror movie, the way that I like deal with it and not freak out is I try to picture like there's a man behind the camera and like whenever someone's like scared creeping through a room, I try to picture like some man holding the boom mic above him and there's like a dozen people, there's like someone eating at the catering
You
table.
unsuspend your disbelief.
Yeah, I like have to picture the camera filming the scene, and that's how I don't just lose my mind. I don't know. Yeah, I can't explain that. Some things just can't
Have
be
you
explained.
instructed your child on that yet? It's like, just picture a man behind a camera with a giant microphone.
You do no screen stuff.
That'll work eventually.
No, I don't do any spooky games or spooky movies. I don't like them. But it's mainly slashers, like the movies. I think it's called The Strangers or Strangers with Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness
haven't seen that
gracious,
one.
that movie is too
haven't seen
much.
that.
It, like any sort of slasher scenario, because that's real. I could never live in a house in the woods.
What about up on a mountain?
Yeah, up on a mountain.
I mean,
That's
slasher's
scary.
not going up there.
What's that? It's not going to
It's
hike
like
all the
when
way
you
up
live
that
on
hill.
a hill in San Francisco, there's like no property crime.
You haven't lived in
Nobody
the
goes up
same
them.
mountains I did.
Yeah, I live on top of a hill, and there's no crime up there. And then down the hill, there's cars broken into like every
Yeah.
week.
Judging
Because it
for
sucks hiking up the hill.
Yeah.
Judging from where I grew up, Justin, you're a lot more likely to be killed by an axe or a chainsaw in the mountains than out.
Yeah, but that's like the Appalachian. I mean, like if you're actually up, like if there's a house here, down there, and then there's a house up there, no one's going up there.
So the show ended at 20 questions, right?
Yeah, exactly. David says, love the
is
show.
great.
Keep being amazing. Let's do that.
All right.
So we go down to
I was
E3.
gonna be crappy.
Let's amaze.
But then
This changes everything.
This changes everything.
I'm getting my E3 haircut Thursday.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah.
I know everyone's been really worried about it.
Fancy man.
Yeah.
That's all the scoops we have for you this week. We will see everyone at E3. We'll be streaming live all week long, bringing you all the best games and all the hot scoops. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam. My name is Damon. This is IGN Game Scoop, and we're out.